One tip I have when you're working with a dark stained railing, we used a really dark stain of railing that I like how it contrasts and it matches the hardware in our house with the doorknobs, and it matches some of the motif we have going on in the house with these dark railings. One tip is if you've stained the dark railings already and you've polyurethane them and everything, you've gone to all that effort to make everything look nice with a little tiny patch like this where it's a little bit lighter. You can take a black Sharpie marker, and just a permanent black Sharpie marker can be used to hide some of these slight blemishes very easily after the fact. And then you can put a slight coat of polyurethane on afterwards as well. With this dark of a stain, this black works quite well. There's also different color Sharpies. You can get various different colors of Sharpies that can work. But in this case, since the stain is so dark, black works very well to hide. It looks like just part of the wood grain when you are covering a blemish. Like, so you can see that one that just disappeared. And there's a couple other slight blemishes here that sometimes the polyurethane will leave a little light spot, and you can hide those blemishes pretty well with the Sharpie. The Sharpie's kind of drying out, but anyway, you can use it to hide little blemishes like that in your finish. And then if you want to protect it, another coat of polyurethane is effective. So here's another example of a slight blemish. This little is a screw hole that holds the top cap in place, and there's a little bit of wood filler in there, but then there's a little bit of a light color that I want to try to hide here a little bit better. And if I can, this Sharpie is getting dried out. So I'm really happy how the railing project has turned out. It took a lot of work, a lot of time, several months of working on it part-time, and I think it turned out really great. I'm glad we did it. It was a lot of work and effort, but I think it's going to add value to the house and the appearance, definitely an upgrade from the yellow oak banister we had before. If you saw my other video, we took the old banister and wrapped it with the MDF board and got nice coats of bare alkylate paint and polyurethane on top of the paint, and got nice white square balusters. I like the contrast with the dark railing, especially in our house, that matches the rest of our house pretty well with the dark hardware we have in our house. We have a lot of other dark hardware, doorknobs and things like that, and I think the banister with the dark stain matches quite well with this. So anyway, there's a nice dark railing. We got this angled part to turn out pretty nice here. We did a little bit of touch-up paint. This used to not have a white trim right here. This piece of trim used to be just kind of a yellowish oak color, so we put a nice big piece of white trim there to tie it all in and look nice together. So I think overall things have turned out looking good. So glad we did the project, and it took a lot of work and patience, and I think it was worth the time. It was good to learn as well. I had a good friend, Chris Murdoch, who helped me out quite a bit, and it was nice to get this done. Kind of had a tricky transition right here. There's some spots we had to do quite a bit of wood filler and sanding and multiple coats of paint, make it look good. Same thing right here. There was a challenging transition right here. We had to try to blend this really well. There's actually a little cut right here and a little tiny little butt joint there, but we put lots of layers of filler and coats of paint, polyurethane, to make it look nice and uniform and smooth. So I found that just the cheap foam brushes worked the best to get a good coat of paint that was nice and smooth here. I think next we're going to add a carpet runner to go over these stairs that are kind of getting worn, these wooden stairs. They're also pretty slippery, so just to make them safer and cover the wear areas, we're going to put a nice thin carpet runner just over the middle. And we'll put that over here, and maybe the next few months we'll cover that.